Always on air, online, on mobile. Fox Toledo News at 10 starts right now.
I'm going to thank God every day because I'm alive, and unfortunately they're not.
That's the thing I'll remember the most is that he's a hero. He saved a lot of people's lives.
A story of a hero tonight emerging from a tragic scene in Monroe, Michigan. Good evening, I'm Laura Emerson. 3 people died today in a plane crash. Investigators are still trying to figure out exactly what caused it, but details on the flight's final minutes are starting to emerge. Fox Toledo's Sean Hegarty has a look at what we know so far. Sean?
Yeah, we can tell you that the FAA investigators arrived at the crash scene soon after the whole thing happened. They're not making any comments tonight about a cause. In fact, the name of the victims is still not being released tonight. And we want to know what we found so far and show you kind of the flight path of what's happened throughout the entire day. According to the activity log that is posted online, the flight started today at about 8:21 a.m. at Toledo Suburban Airport, which is just over the border in Ottawa Lake, Michigan. That flight then ended up in Bedford County, Pennsylvania, which is actually just southeast of Pittsburgh. After that stop, the plane took off again just before 2:30 this afternoon, headed back from Monroe, specifically to Custer Airport. Unfortunately, the plane never made it there. Mike Musco saw the last moments today. Here's his story, only on Fox Toledo.
We hear them all the time, but this one, you could tell the engine was struggling really, really bad.
Musco ran to this soccer field off Custer Road and snapped these pictures at around 4 today. He lives just a quarter mile from Munson Park, where that wreckage sat.
It hits you in the heart. Way out of ordinary, way out of ordinary.
By the time he got there, firefighters had knocked down a thick black smoke, but by the looks of the scene, it didn't look good. In the end, 3 victims had died.
Knowing that people perished and to see it, it was just very sad.
If there's any good to come out of this tragedy, it's the fact that the kids playing nearby were all spared.
I could tell from where he was when he come over my house, he done one heck of a job to get that plane away from them kids and them people.
Mike, is there any...
guy's a hero, I'm telling you.
And that sentiment is not just shared by the witnesses, but some of the actual kids that were playing out there. Munson Park was filled with children and families, everyone unharmed. Fox Toledo's Heather Miller continues our Team Fox coverage live in Monroe with just how close a call this was for many others.
Well, I'm actually told that this soccer field right here where the plane did crash was actually just about the only place there really weren't people this afternoon in Munson Park. In fact, let me show you this. So right here's the soccer field, but if you walk over here, really just about 100 yards away, if even that, there's a playground, there are tennis courts. That was where filled with people, and witnesses I talked to said all they could do is watch as the plane flew overhead and eventually crashed. Onlookers watched in horror as the remains of the single-engine Piper smoldered in the middle of Munson Park.
We saw the plane, and then we were all just watching, and we all just saw it, and it was really, really loud and just huge, and we all just started, all of us were just crying like we didn't know what to do. We were all screaming.
Reagan O'Connor says it seemed like a dream as the plane crashed right next to where her tennis team was waiting to start a match. She watched as it exploded and burst into flames.
It's kind of like you see with the movies where it's like a cylinder, and then at the top is kind of like a puffy cloud. And it was kind of like first one was kind of like this, and then the second one came up really high. And
Reagan fought back tears as she looked at the wreckage, sure someone she didn't know saved her life.
There was 15 of my friends and I, and it could have been our last day, as you could see. I mean, it was so close to us, and he purposely avoided us. The only open spot around here was right where he crashed, and you could tell he was purposely trying to avoid our courts, and it's just, I'm thankful that he did that for us.
Right now, the FAA and NTSB, they are both investigating. They've taken over this investigation. However, as Sean said earlier, they're not releasing many details. They are, however, expected to release some more tomorrow. We'll keep you updated. Reporting live in Monroe, Heather Miller, Fox Toledo News.
Stay with Fox Toledo for continuing coverage of the plane crash in Monroe. We'll keep you updated on air and online at foxtoledo.com, where we have an image gallery posted.